Hello, and welcome to Good at Voice with the Tara Sampson Voice Studio. I'm Tara Sampson. Let's talk about music. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I have a great, quick warm-up exercise planned for you today. So we are going to explore 4 warm-up exercises that are super healthy, but also pretty simple, and any beginner can play with these and feel comfortable and confident that you're doing healthy, good work for yourself without the risk of straining or anything crazy on your voice. All right? So first, let's talk really quickly about why warm up. What's the point, right? Why should I spend 10, 15, 20 minutes on warm-ups and exercises? The reason is your voice is a muscle, just like any other part of your body. You wouldn't go try to play a basketball game or run a marathon without warming up a little bit, getting some blood flowing into those muscles that you're targeting in your workout or in your sport. Singing is the same thing. We have to take care of our voice. We only get one, so we have to approach it with health and safety in mind first and always. Our warm-ups today are going to be fabulous for flexibility of the voice. Your larynx, where your voice lives, stretches as we change pitch. So these warm-ups are going to be targeting not only the stretching of the larynx, but also of the actual muscles that make our singing. So the muscles underneath your vocal folds. All right. All the warm-ups we're going to be doing today are what's called semi-occluded. These cause back pressure on the vocal folds, causing them to square up and vibrate better. So it's kind of like doing yoga or going to the chiropractor for your voice. Okay, let's get started. So our first warm-up today is humming. You've probably hummed at some point in your life. That's all we're going to be doing here. We are going to start nice and comfy, a little bit low. If at any point any of these exercises I'm doing get too high or too low for you, just drop out. Don't force it. We never ever want to force our voice into doing something that it's not ready to do. Just like your muscles. If you try to drop into the splits when you haven't worked up to it, you're gonna hurt yourself. Same idea here. So if I get too high, just drop out. If I get too low, just drop out. There's no harm in doing that. In fact, there could be more harm in pushing yourself than in dropping out and working into that higher or lower note later. So we're going to start with humming today. Now, if you are a lower voice joining us today, I plan to be singing in the female register, but if you are a lower voice, feel free to drop everything I'm doing down the octave or start with me and drop it when you need to if it gets too high at any point. Okay? So we're going to start right here. And if you're singing down the octave, you would be down here. Okay? So, nice deep breath. We'll just hum. We want to breathe through the mouth here, simply because we get bigger, faster breaths through our mouth than our nostrils. And remember to release those lower belly muscles to get a nice, full, deep breath. go, my friends, please keep in mind, you don't have to mimic exactly the sound you hear me doing. You want to match pitch for sure, but if I have more vibrato in my voice than you have, or if you're not sure what that means, don't worry about it. We don't want to force vibrato. That's something that happens naturally through developing your breath support. There are some ways you can kind of finesse it a little bit, but overall you want to let it be a natural process. So if your voice has a little more straight tone in it, instead of a you get a that is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with that. Every vibrato is different. So don't worry about forcing anything on your voice here. These warm-ups are meant to target what your actual voice is doing, not necessarily performance, tone, style. We're not worried about all that right now. We're just getting down to basic vocal exercises, okay? Just stuff to get your voice moving a little bit. All right? Our next one we're going to work on is, I like to call a voiced SH. It's basically like going shh, but adding a little voice to it, so zh. It's like the end of the word massage. So let's start, we're a little bit higher than we just started with those other ones. We're going to start on a middle C with this one, and we're just going to use our 1, 3, and 5. Great. So hopefully your voice is already feeling a little bit smoother, a little easier to produce sound. Feel free to try speaking a couple words right now just to see. I like to do those just to warm up my speaking voice before a day of teaching, just because your voice likes to be stretched out just like any other part of your body. So just to get it moving. And our next one we're going to work on today is lip trills. Some people refer to them as lip flutter. I've even heard them called bubbles. We are going to make a sound kind of like if you're pretending you're a horse. That's what I like to say to my kiddos. So just like a horse exhaling, and we'll get those lips moving. If the lips moving is inaccessible to you, you can either try touching just on the outsides of those corners of your mouth there, squishing it in a little bit. Sometimes that helps get the lip moving a little bit easier because it releases some of that tension there for you. Or you can do this on a rolled R as well. That'll do pretty much the same thing. So I'll switch back and forth between the two. Either one works great. One is usually easier for people than the other, but I highly encourage you to work on whichever one is more challenging for you. That way you are a well-rounded singer with even more skills. Okay, so we're gonna start right where we just stopped. The first pattern of this one we'll use is using the 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1. So it sounds like this. All right, so let's try that. Excellent. So now I'll show you that other lip trill pattern that you can play with. This one I'll do on the rolled R, just so you can hear the difference and see what those differences are. We'll start a little bit higher with this one. We're going to start right here. And we'll just keep it simple. We'll keep it a pattern of 1. But feel free to, as you get better breath support and as you get more comfortable with it, double up, triple up, quadruple up. So that would be 2 or 3. However much you want to challenge yourself to do is always great. So we'll start right here, and I'll just keep it simple. I'll do 1 on the rolled R, but feel free to do these on the lip trill instead. And let's try, for these last 5 or so, let's try doubling up, just to play with it. Great. All right, so that one is excellent for breath support. If you're ever having a challenging phrase in a song and maybe it's just super long and it's hard to get all the way through it, try singing it on pitch and rhythm, but with a lip trill or a rolled R, and then go back to your lyrics. I think you'll find it a little bit easier after you can even go back and forth until that breath support becomes more innate, more in your body. All right, so I'm just gonna show you one more today. These I call hooey, because that's the sound that we're going to make. It's a pure oo and a pure e vowel with an H and a W. So hooey. All right, and we're going to use that W to glide in between those vowels. Hooey. Nice and simple. The tongue should stay fairly forward the whole time. Hooey. My tongue stays right behind those bottom front teeth there. So if you feel your tongue getting really tight and wanting to pull to the back of your throat, give it some stretches. Feel free to help encourage that tongue to stay nice and forward, okay? So we're gonna start actually just a touch above where we just stopped. And we're just gonna take this one down. And as we get lower, don't worry about volume here, my friends. So whatever volume comes out, comes out. We don't wanna force it to be any sort of loud or soft or anything. Let it just be a natural speech level singing. And as we get lower, especially, it may get quieter, and that's okay. So feel free to stretch into some lower notes, but don't push it. We don't want to push any volume or force anything on either ends of your register, high or low. So we're going to start right here. And we're going to do what's called raising our soft palate. So your hard palate, if you touch your tongue to the roof of your mouth, that's your hard palate. Your soft palate, slide your tongue all the way to the back of your mouth where your throat begins, where it starts to feel a little slimy. That's your soft palate. That's what raises when we yawn. That's why when we talk, when we yawn, we get that kind of an echoey sound. It's because our soft palate is super duper high and raised. So you have all this space to resonate your sound in the back. So we're gonna make sure our soft palate is nice and raised for this. You can do this by breathing in like you're about to yawn, or you can do it by smelling the most delicious smell you've ever smelled, and that'll help get it raised. And so the goal here is to raise the soft palate when we breathe in and keep the soft palate raised throughout the exercise. So you may need to check in every time you breathe, and that is a-okay. Just really focus, bringing that awareness to the back area of the mouth, the soft palate, okay? So you're gonna breathe in either through the nose if you're using that delicious smell technique, or through the mouth, and listen to the difference. If I don't raise my soft palate, this is what it sounds like. Not bad, but if I raise my soft palate, this is what it sounds like. a lot more full, a lot warmer. It fills the space a lot better. So that's the goal here. This is the first warm up we're working on with a really specific goal and specific muscle group in mind, okay? So breathing in, raising the soft palate and keeping it up. There's a tendency when this one, even I'm catching myself doing it, of raising those eyebrows. But when we raise our eyebrows, the back of our neck tenses up. So we want to try to keep remembering to bring some relaxation into that forehead facial area and keep relaxing those shoulders, okay? Here we go. My friends, that is a nice, concise little warm-up exercise routine you can add into your day. Ideally, right when you wake up, that'd be a great time so your voice is in a more comfortable, relaxed place all day, but definitely before you sing. You should always warm up before you sing, no matter what. If you only have 5 minutes, use those 5 minutes to warm up. Your voice is going to feel those benefits and be able to use the techniques you use and you work on in your warm-ups and your exercises within all your material. So please feel free to reach out or comment down below with any questions, comments, or concerns. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos every Tuesday. And feel free to look me up on Facebook or Instagram, facebook.com/TaraSampsonVoice, or my Instagram handle is @TaraSampsonVoice Studio, Tara Sampson Voice Studio, with an underscore between each word, or my website, TaraSampsonVoice.com. All right, my friends, keep singing.